Hi students, this is your tutor Namunga, and today we'll continue with the 2022 science paper. Remember last time we solved question 1 to 6, so now we'll start from question 10 going backwards until we reach the last question we solved last time. So let's start with question number 10. It's on materials and energy. So 10a is define energy. What is energy? So energy is simply the ability to do work. Simple as that, the ability to do work. B, state one form of energy. Okay, state one form of energy. Energy exists in different forms. There's light, there's sound, there's chemical, potential, and kinetic energy. You can choose. Now, it doesn't mean if you know all those, you're supposed to write them. Follow the instruction. Here saying one, so you only write one answer. Okay. The next, C, explain one negative effect of energy generation on the environment. So we take, for instance, Kariba Dam. What do you think was the effect of it being built there? So this takes up a lot of space, and usually it will displace aquatic life and it will lead to their loss of life. Okay. D, describe two ways in which or by which energy can be conserved. So how do you conserve energy? Number one is you switch off electrical appliances when they are not in use. Okay. Number two is we're supposed to switch to renewable resources, especially now. Have you seen what's happening with ZESCO? So you should switch to energy that you can reproduce, like solar. E, describe how one form of energy can be changed into another form. So I'll give you an example of charcoal. If you put charcoal in a brazier, the charcoal, what form of energy does it possess? It will be chemical energy. Then when you burn that energy, when you light the brazier, it will change to light and heat energy. So that can be an example. Chemical to heat or light. Okay, hope that's clear. So we're done with question 10. Then we go to question number 9. It's on materials and energy again. This is pressure. Okay, so let's proceed with question number 9. The following diagram show a block with a force of 100 newtons resting on the floor from two different positions. So you have the same block. In diagram 1 is lying down, diagram 2 is standing. So question A, if the side of the block which is in contact with the floor in the diagram 1 is 2 meters squared, calculate the pressure exerted on the floor. Okay, so here we need to calculate. How do you find pressure? Pressure is given by force over area. Okay, that's the formula. Do we have the force? Yes, it's given in the question there, 100 newtons over area is 2. So you just say 2 into 100, that will give you 50, and the unit for area is pascals. Simple as that. So you need to know this formula. Pressure is equal to force over area. Let's carry on. And then question B1, state whether the pressure exerted on the floor will increase, reduce, or remain the same when the block is turned as shown in diagram 2. So here it was sleeping, and then diagram 2 is standing. So what do you think will happen to the pressure? The pressure will increase. Okay, that's the answer. The pressure will increase. B2 is give a reason for your answer. The pressure will increase because the surface area has been reduced. Remember, the smaller the area, the bigger the pressure. C, state two factors which affect pressure in gases. Okay, so pressure in gases is affected by 1, temperature, and number 2, pressure in gases is affected by the number of particles of that gas. So the two answers are temperature and the number of particles. Okay, let's proceed. We'll do another question on materials and energy, 2022, question 8. So the diagram is on an experiment with light using lens. So you have lens there. What type of lens is used in the experiment? Okay, so we have two types of lens. Okay, let me just show you quickly. We have two types of lens. We have this type. Okay, pardon my drawing. Then we have this. The lens that converge is called convex, and the ones that diverge are known as divergent, or others call them concave. So you can choose which one is easier. So if you can get from this, what type of lens is this? This is a divergent or a concave lens. Identify the positions labeled by the letters J and K. Okay, so if it's not clear, you can go to the booklets I sent in the group. You find these questions. So K is here and J is, okay, that's our J there, this point here, that's J. Okay, so J is the principal focus or the focal point, and K is the focal length. Okay, what type of image does this type of lens produce? So divergent lens produce virtual images. C, which letter shows the optical center? Okay, the optical center is L here. Okay, remove lens. Identify the positions labeled by the letters J and K. Okay, so if it's not clear, you can go to the booklets I sent in the group. You find these questions. So K is here and J is, okay, that's our J there, this point here, that's J. Okay, so J is the principal focus or the focal point, and K is the focal length. Okay, what type of image does this type of lens produce? So divergent lens produce virtual images. C, which letter shows the optical center? Okay, the optical center is L here. Okay, remember to always check for the clear diagrams in the booklet that was sent if you're not able to see it clearly. Okay, which letter shows the optical center? Okay, we talked about this is L. Mention one use of the type of lens used in this experiment. So divergent lenses are used in microscopes and cameras. So here they said one answer, so you can't write both. You write cameras, or if you forget cameras, write microscope. Okay, let's go to the last set of questions. One is on health and the other one is on the human body. Okay, so let's start with question 7 on health. Question A is, apart from HIV and AIDS, mention 2 common sexually transmitted infections. So we have 4 STIs at grade 9 level. We have HIV and AIDS, we have syphilis, we have gonorrhea, and we have genital warts. So you can mention any of the 2. Explain 2 ways in which HIV and AIDS has negatively impacted on the population of a country. So number 1, it has increased the poverty levels, okay, due to breadwinners maybe stopping work because they are sick. And then secondly, it has increased the number of orphans in the streets. C, describe 2 ways by which HIV and AIDS can be prevented. I guess everyone knows this. So number 1, abstain, okay, especially if you're youth, just abstain. And then for those that can okay, so question 7C, describe 2 ways by which HIV and AIDS can be prevented. So number 1 is abstinence, and 2 is practicing safe sex, use condoms. Okay, then we go to question 6, the last question for this paper. The rest of the questions have been done now. The human body. So the following diagram shows the shape of the chest during inspiration and expiration. Okay, so this is under the respiratory system. Okay, so question 6A is, which diagram shows inspiration has taken place? So you have diagram A and B. So which one shows that you are breathing in, which is inspiration? So it's diagram B. Yeah. Identify the parts labeled G and H. So what is G? Okay, G is here. These are the ribs. And then H here is the diaphragm, the last part of your chest. That's the diaphragm. Explain what causes the change in shape of H from diaphragm A, from diagram A to B. So what changes the shape in your what is H in your diaphragm from A to B? So the answer is inhalation. So when you're inhaling, what happens? When you're inhaling, muscles of the diaphragm contract, pulling it downwards, and it flattens. So that's what happens here. When you inhale, it will be flattened like this. Okay, so D, name the muscles found between structure labeled G. Okay, what muscles do you find between the ribs? They are called intercostal muscles. And the last question is E, how does the name structure in D help in the breathing mechanism in diagram B? Okay, so intercostal muscles contract, pulling the ribs upwards and inwards. Okay, I hope this was helpful. So next time we'll be looking at 2023 science section B again. We'll answer all the 10 questions. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next video.